true crime podcast where best friends and next door neighbors, Willow and Lillian, spill the tea on murder, mysteries, and other things that go bump in the night. So get your favorite teacup ready and let's get into it. Welcome to Cruelty Podcast. This is Lillian, and with me is Willow.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
And it's late because things are all fucky right now, so we're just going to get this party started.
It's like, is this going to upload late? Or is it?
No, it'll up. It's
it's
late for us, not
Okay.
late for y'all. I should have clarified. You were like, what? Fear. Sweaty. No, it's fine.
Yeah. Mom spaghetti.
Indeed.
Yeah, so it's influencer month.
Sure is.
And today's influencer is Snow the Salt Queen, a.k.a. Yandere Freak. So if you do know who this person is, you already know who I'm talking about. The term yandere, I mentioned it to you. You already know what this is.
It's anime term.
It's anime term. Yes, this person is into anime and they are a cosplayer. Yandere is an anime term that is combining two Japanese words. The word yanderu, which means mentally sick or mentally ill, and the term dere, which means lovesick. So yandere is usually a femme presenting character who will do anything for the person that they love. And typically in these animes where their yandere are featured, the femme character is usually in love with a mask character.
Yeah, and they'll do anything. When they say anything,
like they will
murder people.
That's usually what they turn to. It's usually like a very sweet, very innocent character at the beginning, and then they turn extremely violent, extremely homicidal if anybody threatens their love interest.
And they'll like stalk their love interest and sabotage their life. And not a healthy trope. It is
very chaotic.
I frown at this trope because sometimes the way it's presented is that it's cute. Yes. And that behavior, it ain't cute.
Right. But I get that, like, part of the art form of anime is that everything is cute. Everything
and exaggerated.
Is cutified and,
But I just think some things, especially since kids are looking at it.
We shouldn't glamorize these things.
No.
We can definitely have characters with these character traits.
Absolutely.
And we can definitely explore these types of psychopathy, but we don't need to exalt them in any way.
No.
But yeah, this very, like, this idea of, like, sweet but deadly trope that's seen in anime, this is what Snow the Salt Queen was all about. And I personally like anime. I'm not like a diehard. I don't know all of these like underground movies that everybody talks about. I mostly know like Studio Ghibli films. I have a few like obscure films that I've seen. And, I watch Inuyasha, like,
I fucking love Inuyasha.
Wait,
hold on. I got to ask you a really important shipping question.
Okay, what's up?
So in Inuyasha, if you're Kagome, are you going for Inuyasha or his really hot brother, Sesshomaru?
Oh, I forgot what Sesshomaru looks like.
Oh, fucking hot. Like,
but okay, Inuyasha's really whiny.
Right? And Sesshomaru's really like a badass. Needy. He's mean, but like I'm into that a little bit.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. That's who'd I pick if you were wondering, y'all. Look, I have an issue with villains in cartoons and movies.
You do. And in real life.
A little bit. A little bit.
But yeah, like that's my extent of knowledge in the anime genre. I like it. I dip my toes in it.
Wiggle them in there a little bit?
Yeah. But as far as like...
I'm not a fan. I wouldn't call myself a fan.
I mean, I would love to go to a Comic-Con.
Oh, sure,
I would love that. I would love to make costumes for people. I would really like to like get into cosplaying at some point.
That would be fun. Yeah.
But I'm not like fully submerged in the lore
or the culture
and the culture or anything like that. But I do like, it does pique my interest.
Look, I have teenagers. I'm inundated with anime.
Yeah.
Maris's favorite anime is King of the Hill.
Oh,
sorry.
Let's move on.
I almost tapped out. I almost quit the job completely just then.
I gotta go.
Yeah. So Snow, the Salt Queen, was really into the extremely gory and violent anime and mangas and Japanese video games, which they really emulated with most of their cosplays and lip singing videos on TikTok with this very like cutesy, stabby type vibe. I will, since their name is so long, Snow the Salt Queen, I'm going to just refer to them as Snow from here on out. Even though they do go by so many different names, the media calls them by several different names, dead naming them, and, you know,
We don't play that.
No, not at all. But they did get their name Snow the Salt Queen from their rise to internet fame through the group of cosplayers known as the Salt Squad. So it's kind of where their name stems from. And I'll tell you all about the Salt Squad later. But they lived in Houston area and they went to all the Comic-Cons in the area, and that's kind of how they like slowly started getting recognized for their cosplay because they were really good at it. Their costumes were impeccable. They were really pretty, you know, so...
and it is an art form. I want to be clear. I consider cosplay an art form.
Very much so. Making costumes it's freaking hard.
I've seen some of these are just wild, though. They're like, with like, they use the foam and stuff to make weapons and armor.
The cool thing is like cosplay kind of originally started in like the 80s. So we've had several decades since then to kind of build this art form. And yeah, like the foam wigs, I'm
Listen,
amazed.
I've seen some cosplay that has literally like blown my mind. Yeah.
And especially with like introducing TikTok to it, these guys are blowing it out of the water with these videos. And I mean, again, a lot of it's cringy. You're gonna have that like super duper cringe value.
You know what I say about cringe, though? Embrace all the fucking cringe. Just embrace it. Just be cringy as fuck.
I'm just really be cringy, please, because I mean, I don't have evidence of how cringy I was growing up because we did not have smartphones. But
thank the Lord.
I'm so thankful. But yeah, so they became more and more recognized for their cosplay. I'll, of course, post all the photos of them
on
so that
Patreon,
way you can kind of see, because it is really good. Snow went from Tumblr to TikTok and then made it big there at TikTok with over 1 million. I think they ended with 1.6 million followers. But with that, they had way more controversy than they can handle. So aside from Snow's great costumes and great looks, they were mostly known for their drama and their toxic behavior. That's pretty much what was like really navigating their channel there. So before we really get into the actual case, I just wanted to discuss some of the controversial allegations against Snow, both to kind of like understand their character and their role in this case, but also just... I don't know. I think that these topics are important to talk about because there is a lot of online hate for Snow. They've gone from being roasted or just general disgust, which is how I feel about them. But it went on to full-on doxing, to full-on threats of violence and death threats. And obviously that is not okay. We really, really have to draw the line here, and we really have to understand and humanize people if we're going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
So yes, I just want to just put that up front.
It goes back to our discussions about empathy, even for the worst of us.
Right.
Because without that, it like if we call killers and stuff monsters and we take away their humanity, something is lost then in the discussion that we have about true crime.
Right.
And I really feel like I'm not saying that you have to forgive these people
or think that they're good people
or condone
or
their
even
actions.
Be nice to them.
No.
You just have to
You
treat
have
them
have
like a
empathy.
human being.
They are human, and every human being on this planet, regardless of how foul their acts or their words, deserve the basic rights that we all do.
Right. Absolutely.
And until a court of law metes out their punishment, it's not on us.
Right.
To do that.
Yeah.
We're not trained. Yeah. We're not schooled.
Yeah.
And definitely leaking someone's personal information because you disagree with them online. Not cool, don't.
No. And going after people and threatening them and no.
Makes you just as bad.
Just keep scrolling if you don't like something. I don't understand it, y'all. Just keep scrolling.
And let me tell you this, and this is the only little, it's a very small soapbox because I have a migraine today. I don't feel like yelling and being unhinged. But here's the deal. If you're never going to change anyone's mind via an argument, never. Stay out of the comments section for your own mental health.
Right.
Don't argue with people. Even if you believe what you're standing up for is right. Don't. The best way you can make a change in the world is by being a good person in your everyday life. It's just the internet is poison if you let it be. Or it's a really fun place with a lot of great information, and that's kind of on you.
Right. And it's all how you interact.
I'm done.
It's definitely a discussion that's, worth having because
Yes.
I'm not on TikTok for that reason.
I feel it's pretty toxic.
Because it really is. And I don't want to just, point out that one specific app when, clearly I use Facebook and Instagram. But TikTok in particular, I've seen some really
mean shit.
Just as a brief aside from a personal experience, the last time I used TikTok, I posted a video of my son as an infant falling down. He didn't get hurt. He actually laughed at the video the entire time. But I got instant, 1 million views, and it was all bad. And it was really scary. And people threatening me, people from nowhere. And I was just using TikTok to sync videos to my kids. I didn't understand the app. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it was out of nowhere, I just got vitriol.
Because kids fall down.
And I'm from America's Home Videos era. You know what I mean? That's what we watched for entertainment.
No, you can't.
I had no idea, right? So I just kind of wanted to preface the rest of this section with that because the new era of TikTok is completely different for the main users as opposed to the people who are just coming in on it.
Oh yeah, and I will tell you this: I'm not on TikTok, not because I'm scared of anyone. Super not. I don't give a shit.
Right.
It's that I don't know what the fuck is happening because I'm old.
It's really difficult to learn.
I tried to learn it and I'm like, I just want to post these mushroom earrings I made. I am so confused.
I just like to put songs with video. That's all.
Well, you learned your lesson.
Yeah, I sure did. Jesus. So yeah, snow is really problematic, just in the things, not just in the things that they do, but how they handle public backlash. As for me, I just deleted and moved on, you know, that's kind of all I can handle. But they do not, they kind of live and thrive in toxicity. And with being an influencer, what they do has a lot of influence on how people perceive them and how the general public reacts. So this is a situation of going viral for all the wrong reasons. Now, I, in of course, no way think that the things that they've done or are correct or side with them in any way. But I also don't think that they deserve all of the vitriol and backlash that they got. The death threats, the doxing,
didn't help them become a better person, did it?
No. But I think a lot of I think that you really have to pick and choose your battles and what you're going to get enraged about. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of this kind of, excuse the pun and the term, but snowballed. Yeah. But yeah. Just to clarify, there's so many accusations against Snow, and Snow is a known liar, and a lot of their friends are also known liars. So I don't think that we're at all going to clarify any of these.
Okay.
I just kind of wanted to talk about them, discuss them, because they are topics of conversation. That anytime somebody talks about Snow the Salt Queen, these are some of the things that they bring up. Now, for example, the one that kind of I think of first is the big controversy with Snow and their friends doing a photo shoot in a cemetery. Okay. To me, this is their personal elephant in the room. Now, you and I.
That's right.
We are goths.
That is true.
Lillian, And we're Southerners, okay?
That's also
Southern
true.
people spend a lot of time in cemeteries. This is how we were brought up. They are in Houston, so I'm assuming it was the same way there. But cemeteries are gathering places. And I just want to say that before I go on, is that all cultures have different ideas of how to respect the dead.
That is true.
And
When I was
such a sensitive topic.
Well, I'll say this. When I was young, yes, I did take some pictures in cemeteries, very cringy.
Yes.
We're talking like 19, 20 years old, and fully gothed out. Is that something I would do or condone today? No.
Right.
It's just not.
Right.
Was it respectful? It was. I don't feel it was either, but I can see how some people would be bothered by it.
Yes.
And I don't want to bother anybody, especially if they're there to mourn their loved ones.
Yes.
In addition, I'm sure these are young people we're talking about.
Yes.
Are young people's judgment always good? No. Should they get death threats for it? Absolutely not.
This is the line that I want to draw with this conversation, is that, yeah, this wasn't a good choice.
No.
I'm a photographer. I've taken people's photos in graveyards.
Ours are very old.
Ours are very old.
Yeah.
They're very open to. We live in a very artistic town, so this is very common.
Yeah,
this is very common for high schoolers to go to the cemetery and take pictures.
I would say too that when we're talking about way older cemeteries, we're talking hundreds of years.
Well, and yeah, they bring that up that in this photo shoot they made sure to not use any like newer dated old like.
It just depends on where you're from too, because like Willow said, around here it's not taboo or considered disrespectful. We have tour guides that lead haunted tours, history tours through the cemetery.
We do like
October.
plays, like almost like reenactments there too.
Yes,
and I did take pictures on a bench in the cemetery, and it happened to be, a family's, and they asked me to take it down, and of course I took it down. It was just, there's a level of respect that you have to have when entering a space of any kind, and you kind of have to know, like, read the room kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think kids have a hard time reading the room. But again, is it something we do today? No.
No,
But
it's
should
not.
we get death threats for it? Nah, don't think so.
And we also have to understand that, like, again, where are you going to, like, place your stones here, right? Like, what battles are you going to pick and choose? And this one, it's really hard to say that, because I'll show you the video. It's so cringy, girl. It's so cringy. It's definitely like bridging the gap of respect there. But you have to understand, like, what have we done to burial grounds and cemeteries as a country, right? Right now in our town, we put a highway over
Right
our
next to-
cemetery,
yeah.
right through our cemetery. We
We did
literally
not move the
drive-
bodies either.
We moved
the
some of them.
Some of them, but most of them we left.
just moved the headstones.
And we moved the headstones.
So
That's
we
the whole
literally-
plot.
We drive on top
Yeah.
of people's graves, right?
And that
now.
is the whole plot of Poltergeist.
People people build houses on top of gravestones, or on top of graveyards and cemeteries and burial grounds. Like, I'm not saying that what they did isn't disrespectful,
It is.
but also
We are in a
Americans
culture
have
of disrespect for our dead. It is a conversation we don't even want to talk about.
Right.
We're all in denial that we're going to croak. And so
Right.
we can't have reasonable conversations around it. We can't respect other people's beliefs in this country. And so these kids grow up with this lack of respect in general.
Right.
And I'm not saying kids these days, so you can stop that. I'm saying kids of all space and time.
Right. But what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
like, they didn't vandalize. They didn't spray paint. They didn't knock anything over. They hardly touched them, just in a couple shots. And I just bring that up with sensitivity because, I'm sad because I can't go see mausoleums in New Orleans right now because people have vandalized them. People have really, really done damage
Yeah,
to historical
shitty.
plots. And they don't get nearly the amount of vitriol and hatred the way that Snow did. Again, I'm not standing up for Snow. I'm just saying
The level of hate
the
was
internet
disproportionate.
blew this shit out of proportion. So, yeah, the video itself is really cringy. It's actually an XXX Tentacion song, and the lyrics actually say, I dug this grave for you, my dear, or this grave for two. And so it's like talking about a graveyard. It kind of like fit the song. It's like a cheerful death song. I see where they were going with it, but it's It's really, really low budget. It's really low level. It looks like something that, some high school kids made. It's not to be taken seriously.
No, and a simple, hey, y'all, that's not respectful would have been enough.
Right.
We didn't need the death threats and doxing. That's ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, and they were dressed up as characters from the game Danganronpa, which is...
Oh my God, yes.
I figured you would know this game.
I do know that one.
Which, is you play a high school student commanded by a robot teddy bear to kill your fellow high school students in order to get out of the school.
Yep.
Basically. Now, this character, Snow played quite a bit, and that was kind of like their main character. And, man, they got a lot of flack for just playing that character. But they were playing like the two characters from that video game in a cemetery.
I get it.
You know,
it's in poor taste.
It's just, but they ended up with all the backlash. They tried to like stand up for themselves, and this is where it went wrong. Like, yes, that was a disrespectful move to make, probably poor choice. But where they went wrong was when they got online and they started saying things like, we got permission from the foreman of the cemetery to be there. It's okay. Well, they're famous on the internet. So the foreman found out and was like no. They released a statement that said, quote, "I assure you that we did not and would not give anyone permission to do anything like that. If you could and would send me the pictures and videos you have, so hopefully we can track down the person and get this taken care of promptly. If you have any other information on this person, please let me know." And they released that statement to the public. So you know that they were flooded with video footage and everything like that.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Because the main thing that they were really up in arms about was the fact that Snow was wearing this low-cut dress and sitting on a gravestone, just like propped up on it. But because it looked like they didn't have any underwear on underneath. They said that they were pushing their butt up against a grave. They took it to a whole new level when they were just sitting on it. Not that you should sit on the gravestones.
Don't do that. Yeah.
Don't do that. But you know what I mean? They really sensationalized this. And
if y'all are wondering, if you remember like a year or so ago, there were all those memes like, I give goth girls permission to like take pictures of my grave. This is where that comes from.
Yes.
So now you have the context for the meme.
This is exactly where that meme came from. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yes.
Yep.
I saw it literally just the day before yesterday.
Hey, I give permission. I hope that y'all give me a really great headstone with like a cool decorative bench. Yeah.
Well, don't look at me. I don't do funerals. But if anyone plans for me to have a really superior monument, you can come and you can twerk on it.
Yes.
You can dry hump it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm dead. I'm not there.
That's what most of the people were saying. It's like, well, I'd be dead. I wouldn't care.
I'd be dead.
I'd be dead.
But.
Right.
Just don't in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Snow released they typed out this very lengthy reply in Notes app and then screenshotted it and posted it on Instagram. So it's very long, very lengthy. I have it linked if you want it, but I'll paraphrase. They start out by saying that the cemetery was just so beautiful. They really, really went in depth about how beautiful the cemetery was for the photo shoot, and that they looked up the laws to make sure that they weren't breaking any laws. They made sure to pick a spot that there weren't any people, and they made sure to make sure that the graves were both unused and unvisited recently, meaning that they didn't have any flowers on them. The earth around it was seamless, meaning that it hadn't been dug recently. They made sure by the dates, and they also made sure that they didn't have any children's graves around. Now, again, this is all what they are saying.
And they're a liar, so
grain of salt.
Dude,
anyway.
I about quit just then.
So, yeah, they said that they didn't mean any harm by what they did, and stated that the first people who began expressing online disgust for the photos came directly from a well-known quote-unquote drama causer in the cosplay community. And It sounds like a lot of projection when they say that, because they are a very well-known problem causer. So I don't know. Toxic does seek out toxic. So
I think they're on Encyclopedia Dramatica. Yeah.
But
No, that's a real site.
oh, really? I didn't know that. I
Yes,
thought you
and it
just made
takes
that up.
people who are very dramatic on the internet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, don't go there because it's also full of homophobia, fatphobia, transphobia, and racism.
Oh, okay.
You're welcome. I saved you.
But yeah, they said that they knew who the person was that was like really making a stink about this. And they said that they just blocked them and moved on. And they really didn't think that this was going to be as big of a deal as it was. And they said that some people came forward and said that they were upset due to religious reasons, which they were like, okay, that makes sense. I understand.
Fair,
You
yeah.
know, fair enough. But they blamed most of the photo shoot hatred on this one specific cosplayer in general. They said that, or they ended up getting super defensive about about basically their stance being there. They really didn't seem to want to apologize. They just kept saying that they didn't vandalize, that they didn't take space close to mourners, they didn't disturb anybody, and that they really didn't understand the outrage.
So just doubling down.
Right. Which, yeah, I understand. That's where I would have left it, right? I would have left it at like, hey, I didn't mean to upset anyone. I apologize. Bow out.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. But, and you have to understand that like influencers are in a really vulnerable situation. In order to become an influencer, you have to expose all of yourself to the general public, right? The only way that you get popular on the internet these days is by everyone having access to you.
Yes.
The good, the bad, the ugly. And so you can't really rise in followers and subscribers without being completely open to comments, ridicule, questions, suspicions, assumptions, and basically you are there for their consumption, right?
You're the product.
Right. So you have to understand that there's like this kind of like cycle of toxicity that kind of builds as a person becomes an influencer, especially if a person is as toxic as Snow the Salt Queen is. Now, with all the love and admiration that they got, they obviously got that much hatred in return. Whether or not Snow is a liar, which obviously they've been proven to be a liar, it's really hard to say for sure if any of what I'm about to say actually happened. But they did say that this is something that I agree with, because they did say that they were threatened quite a bit, which I don't know if that's for sure, but they said, quote, threatening murder and rape is never okay. Going on anon and describing how you would plan to kill, rape, or violate someone makes you disgusting trash.
I agree with that.
So yeah, that sentence right there, that's the only thing they ever said that I agree with. But yeah, absolutely. This is a very good instance where you could see someone doing something objectively wrong, but the community backlash is just
bit over the
not
top.
okay. Mm-hmm.
Calm down.
Right. So yeah, they're obviously a bad person, but there's no need to dox them, harass them, or assault them. They can live their miserable lives over there. You can exist over here, and you don't have to fight back whenever you're just upset about something.
Well, and as you can see, it makes no difference. They just ended up doubling down anyway.
Right. And yeah, so because of all of this, like, I don't know, them saying that people were harassing them and saying that they were going to do all these bad things to them, part of me doesn't want to believe them, again, because they've lied, but also because there are a lot of people that have came forward saying that in high school and in grade school and like when they were younger, that Snow would assault them. In high school, in the bathroom, in various places, would force them into uncomfortable situations, sexually assault them, or push them to where it was pretty assaulty.
Boy, I went to school with a kid like this.
Right. So there's so much projection and so much lying going on. It's really, really hard to sift through the information.
Well, I think it would be fair to say, not to speculate, but just put it all out there.
Right.
In this
exactly.
particular case.
That's definitely what I want to do here because, again, there's so much information and misinformation on this case. So the next big controversial thing about Snow is the kitten incident. Now, Snow allegedly rescued a litter of kittens that were sick, and they started a GoFundMe through their TikTok account. Apparently did this a few times. So there's this like scam that they allegedly did with kittens where they raised money through GoFundMe for these kittens to go to the vet. And allegedly after they raised the money, the kittens were never seen again.
Oh, that's pretty upsetting.
Yes. And we see a lot of these types of scams now currently.
Boy, I sure do.
They're like all day, every day. Now, they did go on live and say that the kittens died all except for one. They said that the kittens had some sort of parasite and gave it to them. But in the live, they're like defending themselves on all these different accusations. And it's just so over the top the way that they're defending themselves. It's very aggressive. It's very confrontational in your face. So again, grain of salt.
Well, and it brings up the possibility of cruelty to animals too. Or that there never were kittens to begin with. Well,
and they said that the kittens gave them the parasite as well. And they were like, I will show you the bank statements. They said I only got $200 from the GoFundMe and had to, add several $100s out of my own bank account. They said all this stuff and said that they were going to give receipts, but I haven't heard a single person say that they've seen these receipts or bank statements or whatever. So again, we don't know for sure, but there was a scandal with the kittens.
So I looked it up.
Yeah.
Can kittens make you sick? No, not really. They can give you like hookworm or roundworm.
Yeah.
But the treatment for that is so simple and like not very expensive that even my broke ass could afford it.
Right.
So I'm not buying that either. Yeah.
Yeah. It didn't seem
Doesn't matter.
It didn't feel real,
No, it just
not that I'm,
Well, I took the money, but then all the kittens died, and then I had to I was diseased.
Right. But
yeah, come on.
They talk so much, and there's so much in the public eye that they could have recorded that. Right?
Exactly.
If
my
they
point.
record everything, they would have recorded the vet visit, and all
the
of
doctor
that stuff.
visit, all of that
Right.
stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
The next scandal is the $300 wig scandal. This, now, again, they are a cosplayer. They like to cosplay Junko, which is from that video game. Mm-hmm. Which is the wig for the Junko character is this big pink wig, and they ended up going live and breaking down what all goes into this wig. It's several packages of hair. Like several packages of hair.
And if you look at the character, they have just an enormous fountain of pink hair.
It's big.
It is
and
big.
they have these two like half up pigtails on the side. So Snow was saying that like those pigtails alone are like this big claw clip that have several packages of hair in that single clip. And then usually they would stack clips on top of that. So it's several claw clips full of several packages of hair. Shit is heavy. Shit is big. Shit is teased up to the sky. This is a big, hefty wig. So yeah, it costs $300 for them to buy all the products and
I
then
don't
assemble
doubt it. I just looked at a picture of it. I don't doubt that it costs that much at all.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, excuse me. They made a post on their Tumblr page saying that they would now be selling these wigs that were, styled by her, the famous Junko wig. This is a big deal to people that follow. Huh?
By them?
By them, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Did I say her?
Yeah.
Sorry, the character is a female,
Yes.
so I was thinking of Junko.
I'm just helping.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But yeah, so a lot of people ordered this wig because it was a really, really big deal that Snow the Salt Queen was making this wig. So most of the people that ordered this wig never received the wig. One person in particular that kind of made this situation famous, I guess, was a person named Star, or Star Dere. They did an unboxing video calling Snow out because it was basically just some pieces of hair thrown in a grocery bag.
Girl.
Not
that's
assembled
terrible.
at all. Not even teased, nothing. There was just like sections of this wig. And this cosplayer had no idea how to assemble it. They were like, okay, well, how do I put this thing together? Also, there was no note or instructions on how to assemble it. So they were just basically given hair in a bag. That's it. Now, the whole ordeal with the packaging or with the delivery of this package was sus as fuck. So the package was supposed to arrive in December. Star had gone to visit family for Christmas, and when they came back, they found that packages had been stolen off of their front porch, meaning that their family had sent them packages that they knew that their family was sending them. So when they came back from visiting their family, they had expected to see all their packages. There were none. So they assumed that whoever stole those packages had also stolen the package from Snow.
Right.
So they contacted Snow and said, hey, my package got stolen off my porch. Is there anything that we could work out? So Snow said, yeah, just pay for the materials at cost. So a couple $100 without the assembly. And, you know, I'll fix it. I'll make it right for you. So they were like, cool. Now, the package that they unboxed in the unboxing video arrived before Snow said that they sent it. Meaning that Snow had not sent the original package at all.
Yep.
At all. And so that was the whole $300 wig plus whatever the amount was at cost on top of that.
Oh, probably like $500-600.
Exactly.
Terrible.
Exactly. Now, because I didn't know this, I had to, you know, the cosplayer, I don't know their pronouns, but they talked about it, and then I saw another TikToker or YouTuber talk about it. The way that cosplay wigs are packaged is very particular because you don't want to fuck it up, right?
No.
It's assembled so specifically, and cartoons don't move, right? Cartoon hair doesn't move. So your wig shouldn't move when you're wearing it, meaning that this has to be assembled perfectly, meaning that when it ships, it has to, usually what they do is they put the wig on the styrofoam head and then package around it. So it's very, very, very secure and in place.
Not in a bag.
Usually it's even pinned and everything. So yeah, it was just a shocking way to receive this bag of hair. And so Snow retaliated with a live stream where they talked about the assembly of the wigs and basically was addressing a completely different issue. It wasn't even the issue that Star had. It was like they were projecting to distract. It was very odd because they were like, they went frantically on live and were saying, you know, this pigtail has this many packages of hair. This has this many packages of hair. This is how I assemble a wig. This is the process that I do this in. And it's like, that's not what they were saying. And then they went into saying that this person was saying that they wanted their money back, but wouldn't send the wig back. They were like, okay, I want a refund, but I'm not going to send the wig back. That's what they were saying the issue was. Wasn't the issue at all, clearly. But it just seems like a deflection, kind of to try to bring a fake resolve to the issue when they weren't resolving any issue at all. So, yeah, it was just a big uproar. A lot of people were pissed off about the
it's probably
wigs.
a lot of money.
Tons. So what were they doing with all that money?
Blowing in.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, many people that knew Snow knew them from Comic-Cons, knew that they would start all kinds of trouble making fun of other people's costumes and stylings. Snow would get with their group of friends and just completely wild out. They would get drunk, they'd get fucked up, they'd become rambunctious and obnoxious, and it was just really, really messy. The Salt Squad consisted of Snow and two other members, someone by the handle Daddy TBH. They also go by Elliot, and Haru, who goes by the handle Medusa Stuck. That was basically the whole crew, was them three. They kind of had some other people that would be in and out of the crew, but that was the solid three. And the whole crew seemed problematic at the cons and online. Many people in their circles said that all three of them told lies to stir up drama. They'd act out in public and blame it on their kin. I'm assuming you know what a kin
Lord
is.
of mercy. Let me have this one.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
So online, you will find lots of different people who believe lots of different things. And sometimes kids, especially like teens and early 20s kids, will identify with a character from a cartoon or movie, a fictional character, so much they call it kinning. And that's where they believe they're that character on the inside.
Yes.
It's like otherkin. So I'll explain that. So let's just say, hey, I think I'm a vampire. And I am, because it's how I feel on the inside.
Yeah.
Otherkin is a problematic conversation on many different levels, and we're not going to get into it, but they're largely just harmless kids role-playing.
Yeah.
And who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Is it cringy? Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But,
Yeah.
you know, is role-play cringy? Abso-fucking-lutely, and I do it all the time.
Right.
But I've seen it go south real bad. There's so much drama,
Right.
and there's some definite possible mental illness rolling around in there.
Right. And that's really where Snow later tried to tug at, was the issue of DID. And
I see it a lot in the kin community.
Yeah, which is a good way for people to express
Yes.
their dissociative identity disorder.
And I'm not going to argue with people on what disorders they have or what disorders are real or not. That's not what I'm here to do today.
I'm not a psychologist. I'd love to be, but I'm not one.
No, I'm an idiot.
But there is like almost like a fiction. It's like kinning is like a fictional version of DID, where you can switch alters. You can have, alter preferences
You'll
and
hear
things
them
like
say
that.
phrases like, I can Stan from South Park. And
Yeah.
yes, I've seen that.
But yeah, it's almost like role playing.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. But the problem is that this group of people were role playing or kinning murderers, like mentally deranged. Something's wrong with you, murderers.
Yes.
People that will chaotically murder, people who have fun and laugh and cutesy murder. That's not okay.
Is it okay to play pretend in the privacy of your own home, or like,
yes, or
we're going to dress up at a con? Sure.
How many batches of fake blood have we made combined?
Oh, girl.
Okay.
So much.
Okay. We're not saying anything like that.
We're not saints, is what we're saying. And we've been foolish and cringy ourselves.
Right.
However, don't go out in public, like to the mall, and be like, I'm going to kin Jack the Ripper and just start, well, that's not a
Right.
fictional character. Or Patrick Bateman from American Psycho, for example.
Right. Well, yeah, Snow would take it to a whole extreme and honestly use it as an excuse to take out this high energy that they had. Haru, their friend, and several others stated that Snow would kick them and hurt them and blame it on the kin.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Like full on, full body run and kick with high heels on.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
And leaving bruises on people. Haru actually said that they assaulted her.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
It's fucked.
So yeah, just physically hurting people and then blaming it on the kin is kind of something that you would see a lot in the Comic-Cons that they went to. And then a lot of people just kind of being scared to stand up against Snow because they had such a presence. And, it's just my kin. Well, then you're just blaming it on a character and you're not taking ownership. There's just like that gray area.
You've assaulted people and you're just being abusive.
One person who Snow hurt at the con was a person named Keith, who had come forward with bruises all over his body from Snow kicking them with their heels on. Now, after which Snow came forward with false sexual assault allegations. Now, this one is really rough. I do not like this shit at all. And I even hate saying that word because, you know, you never want to not trust someone. But it was a really messy ordeal where Snow had said that they witnessed this person sexually assaulting another person. And since everybody was drunk and blacked out, nobody remembered it. So they could just say this. This is another form of their slandering of them. I think this was in retaliation of this person coming forward with bruises.
This is just how they double down when they get called out on some bullshit.
And then they reflect.
And then they deflect the blame. That's pretty much the pattern.
And it was so sad because like this person's girlfriend like broke up with them.
Oh, God.
And then the girl that was allegedly assaulted, Snow like made them believe that they were assaulted.
Now that's fucked.
And both of them, and made this person believe that they sexually assaulted another person. And it was really, really just, oh, that was not good. See, this is the type of shit you should get mad at.
That's some evil shit.
This is the shit you get mad at. Never dox anybody, but like the graveyard is cringy. This is bad. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. One was disrespectful, but they could claim ignorance.
Yes.
This is beyond.
This is
beyond.
Yeah.
This is criminal behavior.
That's, and evil.
It is straight up evil, yes.
Now, one person who did believe all of their lies and wholeheartedly cared for Snow was sadly the victim of this story and the whole reason why we're here tonight. Now, the victim's family has previously asked for their name to stay out of the media. Several sources have said their name. If you really want to know, you can just Google it. It's all over the internet.
We're not going to do it.
But it's not my place, and I don't want to do that. So I will be referring to them as Redacted, which I think is a cool name anyway. And they are non-binary, so there you go. But the two of them met in high school. Redacted was a few years younger than Snow, and Snow had already gained quite the recognition for cosplays at this time. I think they're about 3 or 4 years difference. So Redacted looked up to Snow, and they also loved to cosplay. And when they came out as pansexual and non-binary and started dating a femme student, they started getting bullied, and Snow stood up for them, and Snow protected them. So they felt safe with Snow. Friends close to Redacted stated that they had an incredibly warm personality, that their laughter and enthusiasm and compassion was what they were most known for. Quote, incredibly friendly, kind, open to people, forgiving, willing to meet people where they are at, and very welcoming.
Oh.
One fellow student said of Redacted, quote, I was grateful to have both empathy and excitement from them. To top it all off, they did it while having the cutest llama socks you would ever find.
Why'd you do that? Now my feelings is hurt. Poor baby.
I'm just bawling. I'm sorry.
We're sensitive, and I'll tell y'all why. Is my middle child, Valentine, non-binary, really into anime, into that particular game, does a lot of beautiful art.
It's literally like I'm describing them because
and they are also one of the most empathetic, sweetest, kindest, friendly.
Probably has llama socks.
Kitty cat socks for sure, and frog socks, but that's the kind of person they are.
Yeah.
And so everyone loves Val, so like it's just rough because I'm just putting myself there, I guess. Yeah, but my child's sweet baby.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 18.
So were they.
But
Redacted was 18.
But they're very young 18.
This is honestly everybody that talks about Redacted, it just reminds me of Val. So this next part is really hard. Redacted dropped out of high school and started college early. They were studying art, psychology, and neuroscience. They were trying to find a cure for misophonia.
Oh, no. Valentine has misophonia, and it's real bad. And, oh, no, we're losing it. Sorry. Poor thing. If you don't know what misophonia is, it is small repetitive noises cause great distress and anxiety to the person listening who has misophonia. I have it, but I have it really mild. Val has it pretty severe, so much that they have never really been able to eat dinner with us because chewing, swallowing, breathing really hard. It's hell. It's hell on my child. And that this baby wanted to go cure it, it just breaks my heart.
Because they had it so bad that it was part of their bullying in high school.
Yeah, my kid got bullied over it too.
They had to get out of class, and they couldn't listen to people tapping their foot, writing on paper, breathing.
Like y'all, like there's a lot of memes where like, oh, I hear people chewing, it makes me mad. It goes beyond that. It is a very distressing, heartbreaking condition. And my kid has to wear headphones all the time.
Right.
And it goes part and parcel with their OCD diagnosis. Yeah. So it's rough. And they did get bullied for it. Family members were very mean about it, just saying, just grow up and get over it. Yeah. It's not anything
just
you can
tune it out.
You can't. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has caused people to take their own lives.
Yes. Yes. I'm sorry if I had to bawl for that. It just really affected
y'all. I'm sorry. I'm just very sensitive. I love young people. Yeah. And I can tell. I could just feel. I've seen the pictures of this person and they're precious. And it breaks my heart. That's all.
I really try to separate myself from cases. But in this particular one, this person really did remind me of Val. And
Val's a wonderful person.
It broke my heart because Val is literally a saint.
And a genius.
Absolute genius. Yeah. And they were both artists because they did art too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When Redacted graduated high school, they moved in with Snow and a few friends. They all became roommates. When 2020 lockdown hit, their classes were canceled and they were basically in lockdown with friends. And this was a very happy, exciting time for them. All of them cosplayed. All of them, it was a house full of friends cosplaying.
Sounds
playing
awesome to me.
Dress up, and putting on makeup and
making silly videos.
And just having all the fun until it all went wrong. On January 17th, 2021, Snow, Redacted, and their friend group were all drinking and partying and getting pretty drunk as the night progressed. They were watching the show Gotham, like Batman. It's a TV show. And they were cosplaying the characters in Gotham. They were having fun. When out of nowhere, Snow made mention that she had a gun, or that they had a gun, just like Penguin had in Batman. So they went out to the garage. They grabbed the gun that used to belong to their ex-boyfriend. Their ex-boyfriend had left the gun when he had just moved out. And they said that he had taken all the bullets with him and that he had also shown them how to take out the magazine so it wouldn't shoot. Apparently, they did this.
There was one in the chamber then.
There's always one in the chamber.
Always one.
And I didn't know this until this episode. But again, I don't handle guns. I'm very phobic of guns.
Not touch them. No.
But you shouldn't handle guns if you don't know. If you don't.
Absolutely not. You need training to handle a gun.
Yes. The following sequence of events is a little hazy because witnesses were drunk. And most of them were looking at the TV because they were watching the show. They weren't looking at Snow. Some of them were looking at their phone. Others were in another room. It's alleged that one person said, "Oh, shoot me," acting like Snow was Penguin.
Yeah.
And they did. They pointed the gun at them, clicked, and you could hear the click. There was nothing in the chamber. So they acted like they died, and it was all, quote unquote, fun and games. Now, Snow was known to handle weapons in their cosplays.
Yeah.
Whether it be knives, they've been known to handle a gun and
so that we're assuming they know how to use a gun.
Well, they were assuming that they've played with it before, that they weren't going to do anything harmful. It was just for fun and games, which it's not. Don't ever point any gun at anybody for any reason ever. But again, young and dumb. So they waved the gun around a few times. They even pointed it at themselves and acted like they pulled the trigger and all kinds of things. They left the gun down. They continued drinking. It wasn't that big of a deal. And then I'm assuming it was going on with the show as they were watching, because Redacted joined in and said, "Ooh, shoot me next." And Snow did.
God damn it.
And there was a bullet in there. And Redacted fell to the ground with a head wound, and pretty soon blood filled the floor. And they were all in shock. I know Snow was in shock as well. I don't believe that Snow
No, this sounds like an actual accident.
This was an actual accident. Irresponsible, yes.
Man, you
I really...
Yeah.
Until I got here tonight, I still didn't believe that it was a pure accident. I thought maybe there might be something behind it.
No, I think
that
it's an
maybe
accident.
Snow was, jealous, whatever.
I don't think so. This really feels like an accident to me. Terrible tragedy.
And it was so chaotic once the gun went off that it's really unclear who did what next, whether it was Snow or someone who was close by, but someone in the room grabbed the nearest thing to them, which was a teddy bear, and put it up to Redacted's head to put pressure on the bleeding.
Yeah.
And
That's the most pitiful fucking
it just
thing I've
adds
ever heard.
to it. It's so
That breaks
sad.
my heart.
It really
this
does.
case has hurt my feelings.
They called 911. Later during the trial, a witness was asked why Snow would put a gun up to Redacted's head, to which the witness stated, "Because their friend group is wild, dumb, and does jokes like that all the time. This is completely normal." So yeah, irresponsible, yes. A very tragic accident. And even Redacted's parents believe that it was an accident.
Oh, I absolutely believe it was an accident.
Redacted was put on life support at the hospital with no brain activity. Their parents chose to cut off life support the following day on January 18th, 2021, and donated their body to science, which is what they would have wanted. Snow was taken into custody but was released on a $20,000 bond, and basically went right back to doing TikToks.
This is where I'm pissed.
This is where you're pissed.
This is where I'm pissed. I wasn't pissed about the accident.
Now we're
I mean,
pissed.
it's dumb, but they're kids. They were drinking.
They could have came forward and said a huge apology,
No, it's just tactless.
raised money for the family, done
That,
anything.
yes, that would have
done
been appropriate.
Anything. Said anything. They didn't even say anything, my dude.
Okay, it's
They
fine.
went straight to TikTok and started making more videos.
Like nothing happened.
Like nothing happened. TikTok dances to songs about murdering, about hiding a body covered in blood.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Happy, happy murder after murdering your best friend. Absolutely disgusting. And people didn't even know, because this is all the same cosplaying group, right?
Yeah.
Redacted was almost just as famous as Snow was for cosplaying. They had a good following too. Redacted's followers had no idea what happened to Redacted until they saw the ankle monitor underneath Snow's boot.
Oh my God.
Gives me chills, dude. I'm so mad.
Like, this may have been an accident, but had this not happened, something else would have.
Right.
Something else would have.
Right. And that's why I think this case needs to be talked about, is because this person did not handle it correctly.
See, here's the problem that I have with fucking TikTok and most social media is it gives platforms to people who fucking don't need platforms.
Right.
And
Right.
there's no way. How are we supposed to tell? It's like our inalienable right now to have a platform if we want. Everybody can.
Yeah.
Everybody can. But man, some people just fucking shouldn't.
Well, we shouldn't give them the views.
No,
You know
it's
what I
on
mean?
us.
Yeah.
That shit's on us.
Yeah.
When we see drama like this, we need to scroll on by.
Well, here's the thing. They didn't. Nobody knew
Yeah.
what happened. Nobody knew that Snow was a fucking murderer until way later. One of Redacted's closest friends didn't know about the murder because, again, this is during lockdown. They didn't know until Rolling Stone called them and
my
asked them
God.
about it. Yeah. So yeah, whenever it did finally come out, people ripped Snow apart and they
deserved
shut
on
their,
that
their
shit.
shit down. Yeah, absolutely. We have no idea where they are in the world at all right now.
Well, we don't need
which
to.
is great.
It's none of our fucking business.
Yeah. Now, despite the claims of DID, which they did say that they had it and it did come to be false, and claims of my kin made me do it, because they're going to try to say all these other things aside from, oops, I really did fuck up on this one. Snow was deemed mentally fit to stand trial. So,
And I would not want that in Texas.
they pled guilty and waived their right to a trial by jury.
Smart.
Yeah. Their court documents say, quote, education of guilt deferred. Do you know what that means?
I don't.
I had to watch a video on this.
Okay, please tell me. I'm so excited to learn
Yeah,
something.
because this is
Here we
something
go.
new I've never heard of.
Here we go.
And the channel, I want to give a shout out to them. The channel is called Neon Caffeine, and they did a great video breaking this down. They are a student studying law, and they actually are part of the same cosplaying circle. So they knew Snow, they know their inner circle. They were at some of the cons and everything. So this is a really great channel. They have several videos on this case. It's a really great channel to look into.
I'll be sure to link them in the description too. For the record.
Definitely. There is a link below. Now, this basically means that when paroled, which they were automatically paroled basically because they have money, when paroled, the charges would be removed from their record. Yeah. Now, in Snow's case, instead of the charges being completely removed from their record, they would have quote unquote temporary criminal record. So once they finished their sentencing, then that record would be completely washed clean.
Okay, let me just take a step back on this.
You murdered your best friend.
It wasn't, in my opinion, it's not murder. It was an accident.
A homicide. Or manslaughter.
It's manslaughter.
Yeah.
Do I think you should have the stigma of that on your record forever when you're so young and it was an accident? In Snow's case, yeah, because I think they're a dangerous person.
Yeah.
But maybe not in everyone's case. I don't know. I'm really conflicted on this one.
Girl, I defended myself in an altercation with my ex-husband. He got a scratch on his cheek from a ring that was on my finger while I was stopping him from hitting me. And that is on my record. I cannot get a job at most places because I have that on my record.
Charge, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's bullshit.
See?
Yeah, listen, it's because you didn't have fucking money.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I'm pissed.
And now I can't back this up because I could not find Snow's parents. I could not find like exactly who they were, but I do have the article from Reddit because there was a lot of people who knew Snow in this Reddit article, and many of them said that their dad is a politician.
Okay,
one of them said it was a mayor or somebody in the local government.
There you go.
But yeah, so that's what I think.
Corruption at its finest.
Mm-hmm. Now, if they do anything to violate their parole, the judge can officially convict Snow and sentence them to a harsher sentence and make their charges permanently on their record. So there is that.
That's good, at least.
Mm-hmm. Snow was sentenced to 5 years supervision.
I don't really have a problem with the punishment in this case. I think there should be a caveat added that they're just not allowed to become an influencer again. They shouldn't have their right to social media removed.
Unfortunately, that's like really hard to restrict, though.
It is, but it has been done.
Has it?
Yes, it has.
Oh.
Yes, it has.
Oh, to T-Rump. Yeah.
They should be deplatformed, is what I'm
Yes.
saying.
Okay.
And not because of the accident, although that was awful, but because of the way they behaved prior and after the accident.
Again, a lot of their mistakes or their actions could have been
way more disastrous than they were. And harmful for sure to others.
They also obviously aren't allowed to use a firearm anymore. They were given a GPS ankle monitor, and they can't commit any crimes, obviously, while on supervision. They can't leave the county. They must either be employed or in school. They must be subject to random drug screenings and home visits from their PO, and they must complete 100 hours of community service. Whoop-de-fucking-do. But the thing is that Snow can't even do that. They've been caught not charging their ankle monitor several times, going full weekends without charging it, meaning they can do whatever they want while it's not charged.
Clearly.
During one of the drug screenings, they found condoms full of pee inside of their hoo-ha cavity. And they have just continuously broken.
They should be in jail.
They should absolutely be in jail, but instead they are continuously able to keep reoffending. And that's the thing with a person like Snow, is that people keep allowing them to do these toxic fucking things that, again, snowball into disasters.
Yeah, because I think if they'd been called on their shit in a proper way earlier, maybe this whole thing wouldn't have fucking happened.
Right. If maybe they didn't, maybe if people...
Smacks of entitlement.
Well, if people didn't blow the smaller things out of proportion...
Yes.
And taken the more serious crimes and held those more accountable... Because, whenever it's a small petty crime, you're going to be overly defensive. Then any criticism after that, you're just going to deflect and be defensive.
You're just like, well, same old, same old.
Exactly. So I really want these things to be taken more seriously. And I really want some better vetting in who we exalt as influencers, because more and more it's like I think somebody's cool, and then I
5
find
minutes
out
later I'm like, oh, horrible racist.
Oh,
cool.
Wow, they're really bad people.
And I just wonder if there's something inherent in getting a lot of attention, becoming a product yourself.
Yeah,
that corrupts you.
Yeah,
something to think about.
I want to be able to pay the bills, but I don't ever want to find out what that's like,
Not like that.
I'm sometimes it's too humble.
Well, my whole thing with this podcast, especially because it could be said that we're a product now. No, my private life is still my private life.
Yeah.
What I choose to share is what I choose to share. By no means do I share everything. I really believe there should be a delineation between online and private life.
Yeah.
And I want the content to be the product, not me.
Right. The podcast is the product. And honestly, I know that a lot of things can be said that is problematic about true crime. A lot of things can be said that's problematic about, a lot of the people that we talk about, the cases, the discussions that we talk about. But going back to, what your intention is behind your actions.
I do think that's important.
Yeah.
And we always strive to be better and more sensitive and more educated.
Right. And the reason why we are producing this content is not because we indulge in shock value.
No.
We don't think, talking about people's murder is delicious.
No.
We discuss these topics.
It's more the social issues behind them.
And the human experience.
That's
and
right.
a lot of these cases, not maybe this one, but a lot of it needs justification. People need to be, They
need to know why. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then I think together we work through our traumas.
That's part of the selfish reasons that we do this.
Yeah. It does help. That wasn't my original thought.
I didn't realize that this was all therapeutic.
It is, though.
Yeah.
And then having other people reach out and say, hey, I went through this too.
And it really helped that you discussed
I feel
that.
less alone. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, well, maybe I'm not so weird. And maybe I'm not so broken.
Right.
And maybe I can help people with my experience.
Right.
Man, that means a lot to me. Mm-hmm. And I think that there is a place for true crime. I think we just have to work to be ethical. That's all.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
Yeah. And I don't think it's hard, but I also, I don't think that it's something that all of us can reach 100%. I think that all of us have something to work on.
Well, as the Good Place says, Pobody's nerfect. And I believe that. We're going to fuck up. I'm going to fuck up. I'm going to say something insensitive or incorrect.
But it's not in my heart.
it may not be in my heart, but I will take responsibility for it. And I will learn from it.
Absolutely.
And I've said that to myself the minute I started this. I listened to the older episodes. I don't like how I did them. I much prefer how we do them now. And we're going to continue to grow. And our audience and our friends who listen will continue to grow with us. And I think that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do too.
And now I have to talk about cheerful things because I'm about to sob. This case hurt my feces.
I didn't expect it to because at first I wasn't really going to
I'm just seeing sweet baby Val's face right in my brain. And I will tell you, the most delightful child their entire life. And the whole life.
So kind, so intelligent, so wise, so talented. It's just
and loving and considerate and wondrous.
And it really is so interesting to see, because I've never heard anyone described the exact same way you would describe Val.
Yeah.
Because I always thought that Val was very unique.
Val is. Yeah.
And Redacted was so much like Val, they would have been best friends.
And y'all, I know I don't talk about Valentine very much, but yeah, they're very shy. So they don't really like social media attention very much. But boy, I would like to just sing their praises from the rooftops. I'm very proud of all three of my kids. It's just, we've always been very close ever since they were a little baby. And now I'll cry again. So change the subject. Woo, here we go. Hello, I make soap. And you're going to get dirty because that's just how people are. But my soaps are special because they're little works of art and everyone can afford them. They're not that expensive. They're vegan. They're good for sensitive skin. And they smell rad.
Yes.
But as I like to mention, because somebody complained once, soap is a wash-off product. So if you wash, the scent will not remain. It's not fucking supposed to. You're supposed to wash off. Yeah?
Yeah.
But I do sell perfume oil in the same sense, and that will stay on as intended.
Yes.
One person got mad. They're like, I used my soap, and 4 hours later, it didn't smell like it anymore on my arm. And I'm like, well, it's fucking soap. But if you're like, Lillian, I'm tired of you talking about your soap. I'm sorry. It's how I make a living. Yeah. Please go. I don't make a living with this podcast. I got to make it somewhere. So please go to my website.
Your company, Wolves and Wine Alchemy, is one of our small business sponsors.
That's correct.
You know, there's a reason you're saying it on the podcast.
There is a reason.
Because we are sponsored by Wolves and Wine Alchemy at wolvesandwinealchemy.com.
Nope, that's not the address.
Never mind.
I will have the address in the link tree. And if you put in the code CRUEL, CRUEL, God, I can't spell, you will get 10% off your order. And that is for listeners.
Yeah.
Even if you hate me, you can still buy my soap and get the discount. I won't know that you hate me.
Yeah. Even if you don't listen and your friends or family members want to use it,
that's fine too. I do not care.
And Patreons get their own.
They do. Patrons get an extra discount. But if you want my soap, check it out. I also make really cool jewelry. I make candles. I make art. I make everything. That's
and if
all
she don't make it, you just threaten her. Say, I bet you can't.
And I'll go like, yes, I can. I could build a nuclear warhead in the backyard with enough moxie. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Don't put me on a list. Yeah. Girl, you know I'm on a list.
Girl, too many lists.
Speaking of our Patreon, that's where you're gonna find all of our photos for the cases. We can't share them all on social media lest we be sent to the shadow realm forever. So these are public posts, not behind paywalls. We didn't take the pictures. Why would make money off it? That's dumb.
Yep.
Our Discord's not behind a paywall either. Come hang out. Our Discord is a pretty cool place. I enjoy very much. Come show me your pets and give me some memes.
Everybody nice. We like it there.
We do.
Weather's great.
It is very, very fun. And you can tell me what you had for dinner, which I always, because I run out of ideas.
Check in.
I run out of ideas. Do y'all ever get tired of choosing what the fuck to cook for dinner?
It is literally the human existence.
It never ends. I want a food pill, or I want to eat once a month like a fucking snake.
I just wish I could drink all of my food. I'm a drink goblin. I like at least 3 to 4 cups around me at all times.
Sometimes, bitch, I want to chew, but
I don't like chewing.
I don't want to do it every day. I have ADHD, and I will literally forget to eat or drink, and so by the end of the day, I'm like, I have a headache, and I'm weak.
My lips feel weird.
My lips are dry. Why? Like that, and I'm like, what's happening? And then I'm like, oh, you didn't eaten or drinking anything all day. You're dying. You dehydrated, dumbass. And so, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. But anyway, join our Discord. That's not behind a paywall either. You can find the link in the link tree. Pew, pew.
I love it in there.
And our Patreon is rad. We do a weekly episode. that's special just for patrons. We do kind of post-case discussions there. And we have a pen pal tier where we send you a letter. And if you're listening and you're in our pen pal tier, I'm putting those bitches together right now. And you're getting a really, really cool little present this time.
Oh.
But I'm not going to spoil the surprise. Last time they got an acrylic pen that says cruelty on it.
Yes.
It's so cute.
Yes.
And before that, they got like wax melts that smell like tea.
Whatever we can fit into the envelope, and then you get a handwritten letter, and then a wax.
The letter is not handwritten.
Well, I mean, sorry, you wrote it.
Yeah, but then I printed it because there's a lot of them.
But I do all the wax seals, and it's so fun to do wax seals. Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying.
And we kind of all participate in the letters.
Yeah.
So, and the letters from me this month. How exciting.
Yeah. Get to hear Lillian.
Again. Some more. But if all you can do to support this podcast is listen, we appreciate you very much. You could also tell a friend.
Girl, we have several people that have told friends, and one is a lash tech. I just want to shout you out. I don't remember your handle name, but there's a lash tech that like listens to our
Instagram,
podcast, and all of their customers listen to, and that's just so cool. Hi.
Oh, it makes me so happy. Hi. I'm sorry, Willow, forgot your name. I never even knew it because I'm not
so
on
bashful.
Instagram.
Just
Are
like,
you?
hi.
Are you
That's cool.
You,
yeah, I'm
bashful?
blushing.
Oh, I'm not bashful.
I'm a fainting goat when I blush. I literally pass out, so I just need to calm down.
I just pass out because I have epilepsy. There's no reason behind it. It's not fun. Why are we fainting?
We're just fainting goats of different breeds.
Poor Maris almost fainted the other day because he had a panic attack. Bless his little heart.
Honey.
We've been struggling, but what else is new? But anyway, hey, I love you guys. Thank you so much for putting up with us. Yeah,
It's been a wild ride.
It has been a wild
y'all.
ride. I can't believe we're like we have over 300 episodes now because our Patreon plus the other episodes we have over 300. I forget how much it is. It's a lot.
It's really exciting.
It is exciting to have that big of a catalog in so short a time. We work hard on this podcast, y'all.
A year and a half.
A year and a half. Hot diggity dang.
I love y'all. Thanks.
We love you too.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Find us on your social media platform of choice. Linktree/cruelty has all of the links. Check out our Patreon for exclusive episodes, merch, ad-free episodes, live ghost hunts, and much more. Please be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded weekly. Thank you so much. See you next time. Music and production by